20-gallon Texas map turtle, variety of puffers and other random fish that I have picked up. I know all you experts that came here to see puffer fish are saying those fish can't live together. Puffer fish can't live with any fish. Pea puffers can't live with fahaka puffers. Green spotted puffers can't live with pea puffers or fahaka puffers, and vice versa, and so on and so forth. And you're probably right. But this is how we're doing things for now. Just moved from New York to California. Had to consolidate tanks, and I could only obviously bring a couple fish with me. So these are the ones that made it, and they are going to live together until I have the time to go out and buy them a new tank. Tanks. But they've been set up like this for about 3 months, and I've really had no major disasters. There's been some fish that have disappeared that I will chalk up to the turtle, or most likely the fahaka puffer, even though he's so small. I've lost one fahaka puffer. I've lost probably 2 or 3 pea puffers. A bunch of neon tetras down there, like 4 or 5 I lost. And today I had an auto puffer die of natural causes. He didn't disappear, I noticed him laboring this morning, and early this afternoon I found him lying on the gravel dead. The green spotted puffer, which is the biggest outcast of the tank and the guy that belongs to the least, I just purchased yesterday at Walmart, because I go to this particular Walmart every week to do my grocery shopping. Shame on me, I know. And every week I walk by their fish section, and I've always seen this top tank, one in from the left. It says that there are green spotted puffers in this tank for $5, but there's never any there. This past week I go, and what do you know? I see 8 green spotted puffers, 5 of which were dead. So I figured I would do this guy a favor and try and get him out of there before he died, as I'm sure it was just a matter of days. He will need to go to brackish water. He was in fresh water, and he is in fresh water right now. I don't know a whole bunch about these puffers. I don't know how fast they grow, so I'm not even sure how old he is. I got some snails on the way for all the puffers. For now, they've been feeding on bloodworms, frozen. I don't really like the freeze-dried variety. But these fish are aggressive enough to live with turtles. That's one thing I would suggest. If you're looking for tank mates with turtles and you don't want to go with cichlids, cichlids are a good tank mate. Any aggressive fish is going to be a good tank mate. But I would suggest these with a smaller turtle. I think a larger turtle would be predatory. And because they're not good swimmers, they would eventually become prey. But because they're so aggressive and they grow so large, that with a smaller turtle, I think that you'd be alright. My turtle, my Texas map turtle, I have never seen eat a fish. That's why I would chalk up all these deaths to my fahaka puffer. I've never seen him eat a fish. I've fed him crickets. He mostly eats turtle sticks, gets bloodworms a lot. In my old tank, he had a lot more variety because he was living with cichlids and another big turtle. But I had to get rid of all those guys. My other turtle had it actually attack this guy, so I kind of feel good about saving him from that tank. She had begun chasing him and not letting go, and he has a huge scar on the back of his neck from a fight. You can kind of see it there. It's a little white dot. And here is one of the cooler fish I do own, is this skeleton cat, I forget what they call it. But basically you can't see him, he's just this giant clear fish with little bones running through it. He looks like an x-ray. And he lives inside of this log. Never comes out. That's my fahaka puffer. For all those looking to buy a cool fish, that is a very cool fish to buy. They're very friendly. As you see, they get to know their owners. He comes over to greet me basically every time I come to the tank. Like I said, I just got the green spotted yesterday, so she hasn't really had the opportunity to know me yet. A little cloudy in there. I just was moving some things around. But I'm hoping that I can keep this guy in good enough help. I do have another tank coming. I got on Craigslist. I just gotta pick it up from the guy. It's going into a 65-gallon bow front. He's gonna be all by himself. And then for this guy, his plan, his final digs are gonna be a 55-gallon. Haven't got it yet, haven't priced it yet, but he's gonna be in a 55-gallon tank sooner than later. I'll probably keep this tank as just, this is my first try at a little bit of a planted tank, so I'll probably just keep this as a small planted tank with pea puffers. Small planted / quarantine. But yeah, he needs some more space. I want to have him, allow him to have some more space. And as far as tank mates in his tank, I might actually go with just the fahaka puffer. Have him and the fahaka puffer inside of a 55-gallon. I think that would be okay. Some people probably say that's a little too small, but whatever. Human beings probably shouldn't live in little tiny apartments. We probably should all have huge farms that we can exercise on and grow food and live the way our ancestors did, but we've all adapted, and I think that fish are capable of doing the same. That said, I'm not going to leave them in this 20-gallon tank together. That's a little too cruel, a little too much of an adaptation, but you know, it's for someone to say, oh, that needs to be in a 75-gallon or larger when it's only in a 55. I don't think it's going to kill anybody. But yeah, if you've ever seen my other videos, I had a giant 55-gallon tank, 2 turtles, bunch of cichlids. Right before I moved, they had fry. There's about 100 fry swimming around in there. Never had that in all my time of keeping fish. Never tried, but never even had it on accident like that case. Gave the tank away to somebody I kind of knew, so I feel that at least it was in good hands. But it's definitely an addictive hobby and something I know that I want to get back more into than this 20-gallon tank allows me to. And that's probably easily ascertained by seeing the choice of fish that I have inside of it. I want a little bit more than I can currently handle, so definitely going to step up the amount of tanks and tank size here as soon as time and finance allows. My goal eventually is to step into the full saltwater. I don't know if I would do fish only or fish with just live rock, or if I would try to go for the whole live coral. Probably start with fish with live rock so I can experiment and get all the different kinds of saltwater fish that have, at least have a better choice of saltwater fish. I've wanted one since I was a very little kid and never had the appearance or the time or the expertise myself to make it happen, so always a freshwater dude, small tanks. But nonetheless, I always love keeping fish, and now as an adult, I continue to love keeping fish. It's a relaxing hobby. Aquascaping this thing is one of the only things I do where I'm not thinking about something else. I can just come in here and look at it and move stuff around, and make sure everyone's alive and feed them. Equipment working. It's relaxing for me. But yeah, just to keep the aggression down in the meantime, I've tried to break up their sight line with, some driftwood and live plants and the log. The turtle needs some swimming space, so I had to keep some areas open. I mean, all of these fish would probably prefer a heavily planted tank. But at the end of the day, this is primarily a turtle tank, even though it's kind of turning into a puffer tank. But primarily, this is the guy with the most needs. And if you're thinking about getting a turtle, I would suggest that you do not get any kind of a slider or a painted turtle, as they grow very large. And they're not, in my experience, aquarium turtles. They're more of a pond turtle. Whereas even little things like this is the largest turtle log that Zoo Med sells. They sell it in 3 different sizes, this floating log. My larger turtle was a southern or eastern painted turtle, female. She was bigger than him, probably not quite twice his size, but bigger than him. They're the same age. She's probably gonna grow much larger even than she had, where he's already full grown. But when she would get on top of this log, which was their primary basking area in the old tank, despite having a turtle topper, when she would get on this log, the log would sink, and she would not be completely out of the water, which is kind of defeating the purpose of getting on the log. And it was you can just tell from things like that those kind of turtles aren't designed for smaller, just any kind of aquarium. Even if you have a very large aquarium, those kinds of turtles are just not suitable for the accessories that you're going to have for, the choice of accessories you'll have for a turtle in an aquarium. He is a Texas map turtle. There's a lot of map turtles that stay smaller. He's a male, and you kind of, unless you buy him as an adult, you're just going to have to hope for the best, because the females do get quite bigger. But I think this right here is the most appropriate size pet turtle. I've had many in my life, and this guy seems to be the most appropriate size for, all things considered, in keeping a turtle in an aquarium. There are there are mud turtles and different kind of musk turtles that'll stay even smaller than him. There is even, I think it's called a Quinchata River or a Quinchata map turtle, who with both males and females will stay this size or smaller. Like I said, the musk turtles, 3-striped mud turtles, those will stay even smaller than this, the males especially. They're not much for basking, like map turtles are, so it's not going to be that big of a deal if they did get bigger to sink your log, but they're definitely going to stay small enough to be kept in an aquarium for the duration of their life. So I would just make sure, if you're watching this, to see if you're going to if you want to buy a turtle or get any tips. I would suggest looking at the map turtles or mud or musk turtles and trying to get the smallest kind of turtle you can buy. Oh, we're coming at about 14 minutes. You can hear my dog coming. Her name is Lois, and she's a miniature pincher. She's very jealous of the fish. Say hello, Lois. She's very shy. Doesn't say much. Let's watch Lois interact with the turtle and the fish. How about it, Lo? Give the viewers a little interaction. As all my fish begin to have major heart attacks. These puffers are even friendly enough to recognize her. And she doesn't seem to be too interested in the turtle tank. More interested in those donuts I got down there. Hey, what are you doing on the counter? Min pins aren't allowed on counters. looks like she's done this before. Don't fall in. You can drown in there. Anyways, back to the show. Just let it run a few minutes without talking. But if you have any questions, post them below and I'll answer them. No one ever asks me questions about my tank. And I know that this is a super amateur tank. And that these fish shouldn't live together. I'm also big on the see-through design of this tank, my first one that I've ever had without a background. Where there is really no foreground or background, it's just almost 360 view. Got a 270 degree view.